Smoke billowing out of the new Globe Life field in Arlington, sending dozens of firefighters to the ballpark. Now crews are assessing the fire damage. A woman is found dead in her Irving home. Police believe a service provider could be behind it. And a morning walk turns violent during an attack on the Dallas-Katy Trail, sending a man to the hospital.
From the news leader, Fox 4 News at 6 starts now.
A fire broke out this afternoon at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Good evening, I'm Natalie Solis. Flames and smoke could be seen coming from the new home of the Texas Rangers just after 2 o'clock. The field is under construction, and right now officials only know that something caught fire while workers were inside. Fox 4's Stephen Dial is live outside the ballpark with the story. Stephen.
Natalie, fire officials telling us today that it took them about 35 minutes to get everything under control. And as you're about to see again in a minute, that cell phone video of the flames and smoke coming out. Investigators say that they got here to Globe Life Field around 2:30 this afternoon. And some people recording video inside, others recording video outside. Large plumes of black smoke and at times flames. Now the construction company here, Manhattan Construction, tells us that some type of crate on near the roof caught fire, but the true cause of that fire is still under investigation. We talked to fire officials and they say the real credit to this fire being put out in less than 40 minutes is because they had prior training in this actual building while the construction was going on. Take a listen.
These kind of things can get out of hand really fast, but because we train out here, we're used to having these types of big venues and working with our sports teams, and we have a good relationship, and it could have been a lot worse, but because of that partnership, we did real good today.
Again, there were no injuries. Now, the big question is, how will this possibly affect the Rangers and other events in the coming months? Will this delay it? Because the stadium is 85% complete, and the Rangers have their first event in the stadium in March, and then there's also a concert 2 weeks prior to that. No officials here at the scene will give us any indication as to if this could impact it. Again, the former Globe Life Park is being renovated to be changed for football, and so that leaves a backup stadium kind of up in the air right now. But right now, officials have not said if this will push back the start date to the open of the stadium. Natalie?
Okay, I guess we'll just have to wait on finding out the extent of the damage. Stephen, thank you. A man is charged with capital murder for the killing of an elderly Irving woman. Police discovered 83-year-old Betty Thomas's body in her Irving home Thursday evening. They used evidence from Thomas's home to connect 43-year-old Roy James Holden Jr. to the murder. Police say Holden became familiar with Thomas through his job with a cable service provider. A 69-year-old man was attacked, bloodied, and beaten while taking his daily walk along the Katy Trail Friday morning. Philip Brown says he was blindsided when a man who may be homeless came out of nowhere and attacked him. Brown has a broken jaw, nose, and eye socket. Fox 4's David Santendri is live along the Katy Trail after speaking to Brown, who was just released from the hospital a few hours ago. David.
Yeah, he was just released from that hospital, Natalie, and he was telling me that he was taking his daily walk along this Katy Trail when out of nowhere he was ambushed, punched in the side of the face, and then to make matters worse, when he was on the ground, he says this man jumped on top of him and was repeatedly punching him over and over while shouting curse words. He didn't get a great look at him, but he's hoping police do. A 69-year-old man was randomly attacked while walking along the Katy Trail in Dallas Friday morning.
I didn't even see him coming at me.
Philip and Leslie Brown typically walk the trail together.
I would have just kicked and fought like crazy. And I mean, I would have jumped on it.
But on this day, Philip went alone.
I kept telling everybody around, call 911, call 911, call 911.
He says he was passing the popular Katy Trail Ice House when a man approached him from the side and punched him while screaming curse words.
Well, one thing I thought was, I don't have my pistol with me.
Defenseless, he says the attacker, a man roughly 6'2" and 210 pounds, repeatedly hit him while he was on the ground before walking away, leaving him bloodied with a broken orbital socket, broken nose, and a fractured upper jaw. Just hours after surgery, he tells Fox 4 the attacker didn't take any money or jewelry.
He wasn't trying to go through my pockets.
Only stealing a sense of security.
To think nothing of just, hammering in on somebody's face with their fist, that is just
It's pretty
violence.
personal.
That's violence.
The Ice House says the suspect, who appears homeless, has been coming around for more than a month, but they never had any issues until Friday. Brown says that when he was picked up by EMTs, they told him it was their third similar assault call in that region of Dallas Friday morning. DPD says detectives are checking any possible connections while investigating Brown's case.
It's a shame that a wonderful neighborhood is scaring me.
Yeah. The Browns, who live about 1.5 miles away from the trail, have had close calls before. Home security footage from a couple of months ago shows a man at their driveway with a knife. Pay attention to the timing. He leaves just seconds before the garage opens up and an unsuspecting Brown gets in his car.
Next thing you know, they're going to be walking around with a shotgun and just shoot you.
The couple says they're looking to move to a different neighborhood.
I think we're good people. We're very giving and caring.
Fearing something like this could happen again.
It's getting worse.
DPD says it regularly patrols Katy Trail. Now, I spoke with the Ice House, and they are telling me the description of this suspect: dark glasses, dark hair, possibly of Middle Eastern descent, wearing khaki pants, a khaki jacket. They say that's the outfit he's always been wearing every time they see him. Unfortunately, they say their security cameras were not able to capture the attack. Natalie?
Okay, David Santendri live in Dallas tonight. Thank you. Police have named the two 17-year-old suspects charged in connection to a weapon found at Grapevine High School. Tavian Price and Christopher Bishop were arraigned on several charges, including terroristic threat, criminal trespass, and possession of a firearm in a school zone. 2 more people were arrested and taken to the Juvenile Detention Center in Fort Worth. The school went on lockdown yesterday afternoon when a photo was posted on social media showing a student on campus with a loaded gun in his waistband. Police confiscated the weapon. No one was hurt. Fort Worth police named the man killed at an apartment complex on the city's east side. They say someone shot 44-year-old Kendall Jamison at the Copper Creek Apartments Friday afternoon. Jamison died in the hospital. Police believe the shooter initially tried burglarizing the apartment before opening fire. No word yet on possible suspects. Irving police arrested a driver who tried escaping a traffic stop. Officers tried pulling over the driver of a Ford SUV near Royal Lane and State Highway 161 around 3:30 this morning. But they say the driver didn't stop, and officers followed him for about 10 minutes to Goodnight Lane and Joe Field Road. That's near I-35 in Dallas. The driver was given a field sobriety test before being taken into custody. Officers say it's unclear why he refused to stop. There is still no sign of an Austin woman who went missing Thursday with her 2-week-old daughter. Police say 33-year-old Heidi Broussard was last seen dropping off her son at an elementary school around 7:50 Thursday morning. The school security camera captured pictures of them. Detectives believe Broussard and her baby girl Margot returned to their apartment shortly after, but were not heard from again.
Because her car is still at the apartment. And all the baby stuff is still at the apartment and everything's intact,
Family members say there was no indication that anything was wrong with Broussard leading up to her disappearance Thursday morning. They don't know if anyone may be connected to the disappearance. Search and rescue teams in Arizona found the body of a missing 6-year-old girl who was swept away in a flash flood 2 weeks ago. Sheriff's deputies northeast of Phoenix recovered Willa Rawlings' body in a lake around 2:30 Friday afternoon. She disappeared the day after Thanksgiving when her family's SUV got stuck in high water. Willa, her 5-year-old brother Colby, and their cousin were swept away. The bodies of Willa's brother and cousin were recovered the next day. A funeral for the children was held just a few hours before Willa's body was found. Divers have been working in near zero visibility water around New Zealand's volcanic White Island, trying to locate the remaining 2 victims from Monday's eruption. 16 people are confirmed dead and 15 hurt. 11 of them are in critical condition. Police believe one of the missing bodies was spotted in the water by rescue teams a few days ago. The location of the other is not known. Ash from the eruption made the sea around around White Island toxic, making it tough for rescue teams.
It's an enormous thank you to all of those who are involved in the recovery operation today. Although the best science, best information available was used to try and make sure that we looked after them, there was, of course, a huge amount of courage still required to do what they did today. So my job was simply on behalf of New Zealand was to say thank you.
New Zealand will hold a moment of silence for 1 minute at 2:11 Monday afternoon, exactly 1 week from the deadly eruption. North Korea has conducted another missile test for the second straight week. State-run media says it performed another crucial test but did not specify what was tested, only saying it would strengthen what they called their strategic nuclear deterrent. The report comes as North Korea continues to pressure the Trump administration into compromising. It's an attempt to salvage the faltering nuclear talks. An historic vote is set for next week in the House after the House Judiciary Committee approved 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump. The next step is for the entire Democrat-led House to vote on the articles. Representatives will take up the issue next week, but there remains a handful of Democrats in swing states who are still undecided. Fox's Mark Meredith explains.
President Trump in Philadelphia Saturday for the Army-Navy football game, a welcome distraction from a whirlwind week of impeachment hearings. A House floor vote is expected by Wednesday or Thursday next week. Senior officials tell Fox News the White House is gearing up for a likely trial in the Senate come January. With the GOP controlling a Senate majority, Republicans are hoping to hear from more witnesses in those hearings.
What you will see from the Senate is something that is done complete, that we're not going to leave bits and pieces that are not explored. We are going to be complete in this. If it takes us a while, it takes a while.
The president seeing a potential silver lining of the ordeal, claiming the impeachment process has only bolstered his support.
My poll numbers, as you know, have gone through the roof. Fundraising for the Republican Party has gone through the roof.
Democrats maintain they have a moral responsibility to hold the president accountable.
It sends a message to our president that you need to be working to make sure they're not interfering. And using money that was authorized by the Congress to go to another country for personal political gain is not okay.
The White House is gearing up for another controversial fight, this one over the president's tax returns. The Supreme Court announced on Friday that it will hear a case to decide whether or not the president must release those returns. That could be decided by next summer. At the White House, Mark Meredith, Fox 4 News.
Tariffs on $160 billion worth of Chinese goods are scheduled to take effect tomorrow, but President Trump says those tariffs may be avoided through a new trade deal. Plus, the new porch pirate trend could put a snag in your holiday shopping, how thieves are managing to snag packages seconds after they're delivered.